Hello there, this is D, and welcome to episode something or another. 30-something, I'm sure. It's 6:22 on a Sunday evening. I'm in Mesa, Arizona, still. Of course, I'm going to be here another full day tomorrow, and then we start our journey home on Tuesday. It'll take us probably 2 to 3 days to get home. Might stop and do a couple things on the way, but it's about 13 to 14 hours, so we'll get home here soon. But wanted to talk about one more thing, and that is just the appreciation, gratitude, and also a little bit of emotional release. I had emotional release on the Florida road trip, and a pretty powerful one. Movie triggered. Movie instigated, or movie was what I was watching a movie when it came on, but it was everything building up to then. And on these road trips, sometimes when I'm alone, my wife was over visiting with her folks over at their place here at this RV park in Mesa, and I was sitting by myself, killing a little time and just watching an old movie. And old movies are one of those things that I still love, and it might be age, it might be generational, it might be just what I like. And so I'll go back and watch old movies. I have tons of old movies on a server at home that we watch at home, and old TV shows, and we still watch a lot of those. We watch some new things, but it was my time and my generation and my what we liked and what we enjoyed. So I still go back and watch those, and they're still good in my mind. Anyway, I caught a movie called Brian's Song on TV, and caught the last 2/3 of it, and I knew it was going to probably trigger and a little bit of weeping for me and tearing up, because it always does. But I also know it's good for me, and I was thinking, this isn't a bad thing. It's good to force that outlet, to force that emotion to be released, especially when I'm alone and I'm not feeling, with people, and I don't want to do that always in front of people. But it's great, because it's also kind of a guy's guy kind of emotional release. And yeah, men do on average have different emotions and process emotions, get affected by things differently than women do on average. I think we've seen that. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some women that totally get the guy stuff that triggers them, and there's a lot of men who get the stuff that triggers women. And I've been that way. I've watched a romantic comedy and just started to weep and totally got it, so I totally understand that. But this one's a football story, and it's such a story of male friendship, and that's what I think really touches. It's like Field of Dreams is that for so many people, and myself included, I can watch that to the end. And that last scene where he gets the chance to play catch with his dad, that will make me tear up every single time without fail. Because it's this eternal storyline of the father and son. Well, Brian's Song is similar, but it's the eternal storyline of good friends and teammates. For those that don't know, Brian's Song is actually about two football players from the Chicago Bears, I think back in the 70s, if I recall properly. And it was Brian Piccolo and Gale Sayers. And they were both young running backs on the Chicago Bears at the time. In fact, they were, I believe on the team, they were two of the first white and black players to room together. So they broke some barriers with that. Gale Sayers is a black man, and I don't know if he's still alive. That's actually a good question. But was or is, depending on that. I think he's passed on, but I'm not sure. And Brian Piccolo was a white man, and so they were two of the first people. But that bond that they created was really powerful. And this isn't so much about anything racial. This was about this motivation and the friendship that they went through, just supporting each other. And Gale got a severe injury at one point, but Brian wouldn't let him ease up. He just wouldn't let him ease up, and he did it in a way of that most guys understand. He challenged him, and he said, "I want to beat the best, for this position. I want to beat Gale Sayers at his 100%." And so he fought hard to get Gale Sayers back to that. And they both were able to play on the team in that coming year. But this story is actually about Brian Piccolo, who wound up being diagnosed with cancer. And unfortunately, I think about the age of 26 or so, cancer finally took him. And it was Gale Sayers' friendship and his friendship and the friendship of two men going through this and how they handled it and all they went through. And it's one that really grabs you. At least it grabs me. And it's such a beautiful story that I can't help but tear up in the end. And when I do, I think of some of my friends that I've lost along the way. Some of my family. I think of my father, as I always do, who I've lost in the last couple of years. And you also have this sense of gratitude of how blessed I am for what I have. And sometimes these emotional releases are really good are really, what's the word I'm looking for? Effective in helping us understand and remember that, hey, life's pretty good. I have so much to be thankful for. And boy, that gratitude, that just remembering the things that we have in our lives that are going well, that others may not even have, that you are grateful for. When you have a football player had the heart of a lion who died at the age of 26, and whose story was so powerful it created a classic movie that still lives on to this day. It gets you. At least it gets me. And I know everybody gets affected by different things. For me, it can be sometimes a commercial for, tortilla chips. I don't know. It surprises me a lot. But this one, I knew it was going to come, and I took the challenge because I wanted to. And as I was tearing up at the end, my wife walked in. She was over at her parents' place, and she walked in and started watching it, and she teared up at the end of it too. Together, and it's powerful and it's good, but like I said, it's that release that is so helpful to us because tension does build. And a lot of times we don't even know that tension is building, especially for those of us who struggle with anxiety and overthinking and looping thoughts and ruminations and panic attacks and depression and all those things that go with it. Sometimes we just got to release some of that emotional energy. And I really believe in that. And I can feel that when I'm letting it out. And it's good. And sometimes it's just a few tears. For me, at least. And sometimes it's a all-out guttural sobbing. This one was more a few tears, but I felt it. And it was good. But it reminded me that I still have relatively good health. I mean, I have this benzo thing that giving me some neurological damage and definitely affects my life, and it's some limitations, but I'm not dying of cancer and at the age of 26. And that's something to be grateful for. And it helps us also to put things in perspective when we get so worried about the little things, the weather for a drive, or having to, spend more time with your in-laws, or, the little things that we deal with in life, and to remember all that we have, the blessings. And the blessings are infinite. They really are. The fact that the miracle that we are just alive, that each one of us is alive. I mean, the miracle of that, it's amazing because the odds against you as you are being actually born and living are astronomical. When you really look at it, it's incredible. And then the fact that you've lived to a certain age and the fact that you've had enough to eat and enough shelter for so many of us, and some of us don't, but so many of us do, to be grateful that we've gotten to live. I made it 58 years. I may not make it to 59, although I hope to, and I think I will. But 58 years on this planet, and it's been a roller coaster ride of cool, great, awesome things, and horrible heartbreak and pain and suffering. But what a journey! What a ride this has been. And I see it as that. I see it as this amazing journey. And I know sometimes people say that it's about the journey, and I know that can be too over sentimental or too, I don't know, so many other ways to look at it. My phone texting me, so I have to head over to the in-laws in a few minutes. My wife is telling me it's time to come over, so. But I wanted to take a few minutes that I had here to say hi and say how grateful. Today I played pickleball with my wife and her aunt. And honestly, I played pickleball once and we didn't even know the rules, so we weren't really playing. This is the first time I've really played pickleball, and it's a lot of fun, and I get to do that, and I can still move to do that, and I have people here to do that, and I found some courts that we can do it on, and it was a lot of fun. It's these little things, and I'm going over to play some cards with my wife and her family tonight. And we'll have some snacks and some popcorn and maybe a little cheese and stuff, just a light kind of meal, and just enjoy each other's company. These things are good. These things are good. And equally good is that feeling, is being able to feel joy, but also to feel the sadness, like I did today with the film, and I have for so many other things that have happened in my life recently. The fact that we get to feel that's the essence of being human. That feeling, that emotion, that joy, that suffering, that pain, that curiosity, all that's things that we have in this life is what makes this human journey so amazing. And I'm so grateful for that. I am grateful for that. I am also, though, equally grateful for reason and logic, because I think that helps us to make smart choices in the long run. Most of our emotions are short-sighted. That's just how we are. They're short-sighted. They're good for the short game, and they help us get pleasure soon. Like, my emotions right now are saying if I go eat some more M&Ms, I'm going to feel better, and I might. I just might feel better. I probably would eating those. Tomorrow, I'm not going to feel so good. And that's the reason. We have that balance. And that's a good balance to have. We need both of those. We're this complex, myriad, weird party of all kinds of things as human beings. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Can you imagine if it was just simple? I mean, so many of us wish for things to be simple, to be, oh, if only I knew what I was supposed to be, and if only I knew who I was supposed to be with, and if only I knew how this would end, and if only I knew. But that would take all the fun out of it. And yeah, sometimes these decisions wind up bad, even horribly bad. But as often, they wind up amazing and wonderful. That's life. We're rolling the dice here, and we see what turns up. How we respond to those different dice rolls, how we respond to the different things that come our way, is what dictates how much overall we enjoy or hate this life. I decided to embrace the different pieces of it. I don't always do that, but I'm embracing them. I'm embracing the sadness and the crying I had this morning. And I'm going to embrace the joy and the camaraderie I'll have this evening. Would I rather be home doing some work with my dog and stuff? Yeah, maybe. But this is important. It's important for my wife. It's important for our family. It's important for her family. It's important to spend time with them. And you know what? I'm having a decent time. I'm having a good time. I'm going to sign off here because I need to run over and see my in-laws. Just remember to be grateful for what you have and find ways to do that and to embrace all of it. Embrace the good and embrace the bad. It's part of this experience. I truly believe without the bad, we would never appreciate the good. We wouldn't even know what it is. So be thankful for both. The bad allows us to enjoy the good. Y'all have a good night tonight. I'm going to sign off here, but I'm sure I'll be back again before we start heading home. Take care. Hey, this is Dee. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out our podcast. I do need to remind everyone that this podcast is for informational purposes only and should never be considered medical, psychological, or professional health advice of any kind. If you or someone you know is dealing with significant mental health issues, please seek professional help. Resources can be found in our show notes and on our website at unevenpodcast.com. Take care of yourself, and I'll catch you on the flip side.